Welcome back, everybody, to Series 2. Today we're covering Episode 2, which is changing email archiving providers and what you should be concerned about. Organizations have been archiving email for 2 decades, which means that most companies already have some kind of email archiving system in place. But what happens when a company decides to change their archiving provider or upgrade to a new solution? For example, if a solution goes end of life or they simply want to end their current contract, how can organizations future-proof and continue using their existing archive data? So welcome back, Mark. An interesting topic for today.
Morning, everyone.
So let's get straight into the questions. Mark, in your opinion, is it easy to change an email archiving provider?
One word answer, no. Not always. It can be long, it can be complex, and it can be very costly if you get it wrong.
Okay, so let's delve into some of those. What difficulties might arise when an organization thinks about changing email archiving provider?
Well, if we think about it, email archiving are those sort of safety mechanisms that traditionally we had in the corner filling up, and we barely remembered unless we had an incident or a reason to use it. So if we are going to migrate, there's a reason why we're migrating. Often then our existing technology can be old technology, and then migrating to new platforms and new technology can be very problematic. You can have migration tools are not available or are very limited in what you want to do, especially in the post-GDPR world. If you think about it, an archiving solution does not want to make it very easy for you to export everything out of and put it into a competitor. And the problems then would be that you really have to manage is, are there any missing time slots? Is there missing data when we migrate to a new solution? We want to make that as seamless as possible.
Okay. What maybe from some of our clients that have moved to us from other providers, what are some of the reasons why organizations might switch archiving providers from your experience?
So from the product is end of life. They have problems with the functionality built into their current archiving solution. It's outdated. You know, everybody before GDPR didn't have the manipulation required since May 2018. Some products haven't updated. Simply, they might get a better offer from a sales team. They might decide it's built into Office 365. They want to use, functionality in other people's solutions that are more up to date. Could be down to cost. And for a lot of our clients, they understand that an e-discovery tool is not used very frequently, but when it is, it's extremely important that the understanding and the process is correct. So a lot of people will switch providers because they want that managed service that we provide.
Okay, so then I suppose on to MailMeter. How can organizations effortlessly migrate from another archiving solution to MailMeter?
Well, they can, so first of all, it's not effortlessly at all to migrate from one system to another. It is extremely complicated and time consuming by and large. So from our point of view, we can reduce that effort because we do a lot of the heavy lifting. So we'll help project manage from a planning, migration, testing, and a sign-off point of view. So again, our clients rely on us to do the project work by and large for them and do that heavy lifting. There's still an effort, but it makes it an awful lot easier than trying to do that process on their own. And again, these things are not to the fore. So you probably have 3 or 4 other activities running while you're trying to migrate. This might be project number 4. So for us, again, our clients want us to do 90% of that work.
How quickly can we migrate an organization's legacy data, or what influences how quickly we can migrate their data?
By and large, the size of the archive. So, a very large archive is going to be more time consuming, no matter what effort and what processes are put in place. What format can that legacy system export out to? That again will have an impact on our performance. If we're using our cloud solution, what is the bandwidth for them to uplift that data? from a non-technology point of view, and probably more importantly, what is the focus going to be put into this project by the client? If you're going to give it 2 hours a week, it's going to take longer than if we're trying to get it done in the following 10 days.
Okay.
And it is likely to fail unless we get that focus. So again, our clients, not to their own fault, don't have time to focus on this type of project. So they really want the solution to incorporate that focus from somebody else, which for our clients is us.
And can data ever get stuck or lost in this migration process?
Yes, often, and that's the big risk. Again, the migration process is fairly basic and standard in most organizations. So what we don't want is to think we have completeness. Again, this is compliance and e-discovery data. So if there are going to be gaps or there's going to be discrepancies or missing data or the integrity is lost, we want to be able to understand that process and mitigate that down as much as possible.
Okay, so it really sounds like the key is to go with a managed service, someone that's going to really hold your hand. Mark, do you have any final tips on organizations that are thinking of migrating to a new archiving solution?
I suppose if it was me, I'd ask myself, why are we doing this? You know, there has to be a benefit in doing it. Once we see that there's the benefit, again, treat it like a proper project, even though this is legacy data that maybe we haven't touched or it hasn't changed for years. So plan it accordingly, like a project that needs to be completed correctly. You know, apply the appropriate resources to that project, you know, and again, for us, we do a lot of migrations because we bring that effort and that focus to the project. So if it's not going to be us, make sure you can bring the focus or try and find somebody out there who could help you with that process.
Okay, great. Thanks, Mark. For anybody that's looking for any more information, you know, on our managed service and how we operate these migrations, you can visit our website on www.waterfordtechnologies.com/managed service. Thanks a million, Mark, for today's session.
No problem. Cheers, Laura. See you, everybody.
Bye.